What's up, your boy Vaughn? Another reaction. In today's video, we have the LSU reject who became the NFL's highest paid safety by football and scores. Okay, this video got no likes. Oh, he must be high in the likes. Like, you got 7,000 views. I'm like, what the fuck? Uh, LSU, man. Well, Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? Oh, first ballot Hall of Famer. He better get in that Hall of Fame. First ballot Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? Nothing much to say about the Honey Badger. Y'all know the Honey Badger.
He lost everything. Kicked out of LSU,
Louisiana, son.
arrested, labeled a reject no team should touch. But the Honey Badger doesn't care about labels. They said his career was over. He turned rejection into fuel. This is the raw story of how Tyrann Mathieu battled his demons, proved everyone wrong, and became the NFL's highest paid safety.
One thing I love about Tyrann, just the swag he plays with.
And the pass is intercepted. Terrific leverage. The Honey Badger.
We need to be remembered, dog. Let's go. Let's go. Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
In March 2019, Tyrann Mathieu signed a contract that made him the highest paid safety in the NFL. It was a huge moment, the peak of a fantastic comeback journey. It was a win for a player who had faced
This nigga was different on Madden 20.
more hard times than almost anyone in the sport. To understand how he got to that top spot, you have to go back to the beginning, back to the tough streets of New Orleans, where his life was shaped by loss before he even had a chance to really start. Tyrann Mathieu was born in May 1992. Right in the heart of Central City. This New Orleans neighborhood was known for being poor and dangerous back then. His childhood was unstable from the very beginning. His biological father, Darren Hayes, was in prison for murder for most of Tyrann's life. He barely knew him. His biological mother struggled with her own problems and left him when he was just a baby. He ended up with his mother's parents, Lorenzo and Sheila Mathieu. Lorenzo and Sheila became his rock. They officially adopted him and gave him the love and stable home he needed. His grandfather Lorenzo was a strong figure early on. He tried to protect Tyrann from the dangers outside their door. But sadly, Lorenzo passed away while Tyrann was still young, leaving another hole in his life. Even with his grandmother's love, the Central City neighborhood was tough to escape. Violence and drug activity were common. Just getting by was a struggle every day. For young Tyrann, the football field was his only escape. It was the one place he felt safe, the one place he felt in control, the one place the chaos of the outside world couldn't reach him. He poured all his energy into playing, showing early signs of the fearless, natural player he would become. Then, in August 2005, when Tyrann was just 13, the biggest storm hit. Hurricane Katrina wrecked New Orleans. His family's home was destroyed. They lost everything. Like thousands of others, they had to leave the city. They fled to Tyler, Texas, and lived with relatives for over a year. Finally, they returned to New Orleans, but the city was still badly damaged. Being forced out of his home like that added another layer of hardship to his already tough young life. During this time, after his grandfather died and they lost their home, his aunt and uncle, Tyrone and Sheila Mathieu, took him in. Tyrone became another hugely important father figure and guide. He saw the amazing talent in his nephew, but he also saw the anger and the potential for trouble just below the surface. Tyrone gave Tyrann the guidance.
I'm telling you, all them New Orleans niggas, but them niggas be high heads around. I'm telling y'all.
And discipline he needed. He helped get Tyrann into St. Augustine High School, a famous all-boys Catholic school known for its football program. St. Augustine became another safe place, a structured world where Tyrann could focus only on football and school, keeping him away from the dangers still present on the post-Katrina streets. Football wasn't just an escape anymore. It was his mission. It felt like his only real path to a different life, a way to... It was his mission. It felt like his only real...
Yo, look at this man's eyes. Can you good, fam?
Wasn't just
Is you AI?
Anymore. It was his mission. It felt like his only...
Why is his eyes glitching like that? It's probably because the green screen.
Real path
You probably got green eyes. I don't
to
fucking
a
know.
different life. A way to
That shit just scared the fuck out of me.
beat the huge
I
odds
caught on to that fast.
stacked against a kid from his background. He wasn't the biggest player on the field, but he played with a special kind of intensity, a toughness born from a lifetime of loss and struggle. He was determined to make it out, determined to build a future totally different from the past he couldn't control. That fire forged on the streets of New Orleans exploded on the high school gridiron. The world was about to witness a unique talent, but they still tried to put him in a box. At St. Augustine High School, Tyrann Mathieu wasn't just a player. He was a force. St. Aug is a legendary football factory in New Orleans, known for producing tough, disciplined athletes. Tyrann fit right in, channeling all the chaos and hardship from his childhood into a ferocious style of play. He wasn't the biggest guy, standing only 5'9", but he played with a fearlessness that was impossible to ignore. He excelled at cornerback, using his incredible instincts and quickness to
Man, that camera angle making him look taller than a bitch.
shut down opposing receivers. He was also a dynamic punt returner, a threat to score every time he touched the ball. He became a star, a leader on a team filled with talent, earning all state honors. But when it came time for college recruiting, the old doubts surfaced. Major college programs saw his size and his electrifying highlights, and they didn't see a traditional cornerback.
Yeah, I do need a Tyrann Mathieu St. Aug jersey. I need a lot. All his jerseys. Cardinals, Saints, Chiefs.
They saw an athlete, a label often slapped on black players with unique skill sets, suggesting they lacked the specific traits needed for a single position. Schools like Auburn and even his home state powerhouse LSU initially recruited him, but hinted that he might be better suited for offense or special teams. Tyrann, however, knew who he was. He was a defensive back. Guided by his uncle Tyrone and his own fierce self-belief, he refused to compensate. He wanted to play defense, the side of the ball where his instincts and tenacity could shine. This narrowed his options considerably. But one program saw his potential and embraced
Yeah, LSU. We always send offers to the Louisiana guys. You know what I'm saying?
his unique style, LSU. Head coach Les Miles and his staff saw a game-changing defensive weapon, a player whose knack for creating turnovers could single-handedly win games. They offered him a scholarship with the promise that he would play cornerback. Tyrann accepted, staying home to play for the Tigers. His impact at LSU was immediate and explosive. As a freshman in 2010, he quickly earned playing time and showed flashes of brilliance. But it was in his sophomore season in 2011 when he became a national phenomenon. It started with the nickname, the Honey Badger. It came from the viral YouTube video about the fearless creature known for attacking anything regardless of size. LSU's defensive coordinator, John Chavis, first used the name to describe Tyrann's relentless, almost irrational fearlessness on the field. The name stuck. Fans brought Honey Badger signs to games. The announcers couldn't stop talking about it. Tyrann embraced the persona, playing with an even wilder abandon. The 2011 season was a masterclass in controlled chaos.
Ooh, look at that nigga, bro.
The Honey Badger was everywhere. He wasn't just covering receivers, he was attacking the ball. He had an uncanny ability to rip the ball out, forcing fumbles at an incredible rate. He finished the year with 6 forced fumbles. And
God damn, boy, them Oregon jerseys fire as fuck. But Oregon, that's what y'all gonna always be known for. Them uniform boys. The niggas with the fire uniforms. Them bitches hard as shit.
record. He recovered 4.
I know. I'm pretty sure DeAnthony Thomas played on Oregon during this time. I had to get a DeAnthony Thomas jersey in that colorway. That bitch hard.
Fumbles, returning 2 of them for electrifying touchdowns. He intercepted 2 passes. He was a constant threat on punt returns, taking 2 back for touchdowns.
Y'all see some Tyrann Mathieu and D'Angelo Bonds? Y'all think he gonna be good in the NFL?
Racked up 77 tackles and even added 1.5 sacks. He wasn't just making plays. He was making the biggest plays in the biggest moments. Against Arkansas, he returned a punt 92 yards for a touchdown that sealed the SEC West title. Against Georgia in the SEC Championship game, he returned another punt for a touchdown and was named the game's MVP.
Avoids a teammate, heads for the corner, he's done it again.
His highlight reel was absurd. He was the most exciting, most talked about player in all of college football. His performance earned him a slew of awards. Consensus First Team All-American, SEC Defensive Player of the Year, and the Chuck Bednarik Award as the best defensive player in the country. Most remarkably, he was named a Heisman Trophy finalist, finishing 5th in the voting. Defensive players almost never get invited to the Heisman ceremony. That's how impactful he was. He led LSU to an undefeated regular season and a spot in the BCS National Championship game. He was on
drop that interception. That Georgia quarterback threw that bitch though.
Top of the world. The kid from Central City, the survivor of Katrina, was now the Honey Badger, the biggest star in college football. He had overcome everything. It seemed like nothing could stop him. He was the king of college football, the unstoppable Honey Badger. But the same chaos he overcame in childhood was still lurking inside him, and it was about to drag him down from the mountaintop. Heading into the 2012 college football season, Tyrann Mathieu was arguably the biggest star in the sport. He was the reigning SEC Defensive Player of the Year, the Bednarik Award winner, and a Heisman finalist. LSU was a national title contender, and the Honey Badger was the heart and soul of their ferocious defense. He was on top of the world, a seemingly unbreakable force destined for NFL superstardom. But behind the highlight reels and the awards, the old struggles remained. The trauma from his childhood, the instability, the loss, it hadn't just disappeared, and Mathieu was still coping the only way he knew how, using marijuana to numb the pain and anxiety. Despite his incredible success on the field, he was reportedly failing multiple drug tests administered by the team, repeatedly violating the rules set by head coach Les Miles. He was playing with fire, risking everything he had worked so hard to achieve. On August 10th, 2012, just weeks before the start of his junior season, the fire finally consumed him. In a move that shocked the entire college football world, Coach Les Miles announced that Tyrann Mathieu had been dismissed from the LSU football team for violating team rules.
We did what we could do, but Tyrann Mathieu is no longer on our team. Violated team policies.
The news was a bombshell. The Honey Badger, the most popular and electrifying
Kung Fu Panda. Tyrann Mathieu smoking on that ganja.
player in the country, was gone. Just like that. Miles didn't initially specify the violation, but it was soon confirmed that Mathieu had been kicked off the team due to repeated failed drug tests. This was his
Why your eyes glitching like that? You got me thinking you a reptilian. Now I'm about to turn to conspiracy theorist.
public rock bottom. The fall from grace was stunning and immediate. He went from being a national hero to a cautionary tale overnight. The player known for his fearlessness was suddenly exposed for his inability to overcome his personal demons. The narrative flipped instantly. He wasn't the Honey Badger anymore. He was a reject, a player who had thrown away a golden future. His troubles didn't end there. Kicked off the team, but still enrolled as a student at LSU, Mathieu found himself lost. He had structure and purpose stripped away. On October 25th, 2012, his downward spiral hit a new low. Police were called to his apartment complex, and Mathieu, along with 3 former teammates, were arrested for simple possession of marijuana.
4 former LSU football players arrested on drug charges. You're looking at new video of the men being taken away in handcuffs from a Baton Rouge police substation, placed into police cruisers on their way to the parish prison.
It was another public humiliation, another confrontation for the critics that he was a lost cause. A troubled kid who couldn't stay out of his own way. His NFL dreams, which had seemed like a certainty just months before, were now in serious jeopardy. But in this moment of crisis, Mathieu finally made the choice to confront his issues. Following the arrest, he withdrew from LSU and entered a drug rehabilitation program in Houston, Texas. The program was run by former NBA player and coach John Lucas, who had battled his own addictions and now dedicated his life to helping athletes do the same. This was Tyrann's turning point. For the first time, he wasn't just facing consequences. He was actively seeking help, trying to understand the root causes of his behavior and learn new ways to cope with the trauma he had carried for so long. He spent months in the program, working with Lucas, focusing on his recovery. It was a period of quiet reflection and hard work, away from the spotlight. He started to rebuild himself, not just as a football player, but as a person. He began to understand the connection between his past and his present struggles. As the 2013 NFL Draft approached, Tyrann Mathieu was the ultimate enigma. His talent was undeniable. His game film from 2011 was still legendary. But the red flags were enormous. The dismissal from LSU, the failed drug tests, the arrest. He was seen as one of the most talented, but also one of the riskiest prospects in the entire draft. Would any team be willing to take a chance on the Honey Badger? He had faced his demons and begun the hard work of recovery. But now, he had to face a new jury, the 32 teams of the NFL, deciding if the talent was finally worth the risk. Heading into the 2013 NFL Draft, Tyrann Mathieu was the ultimate wild card. His game film from his sophomore year at LSU was still the stuff of legend, showcasing a uniquely instinctive and disruptive defensive force. But the baggage was heavy. The dismissal from the team for repeated
And he ain't had no injury history. You ain't hear him say nothing about no injuries. Y'all notice that? Then he had no injuries, boy. You was just smoking that ganja?
failed drug tests, the subsequent arrest for marijuana possession. He was a first-round talent with fourth-round character flags. Teams had to weigh the potential reward.
Yes, decades of shit matter. Like, look at James Pearce Jr. Even though all his charges got dropped, so the nigga gonna be back on Falcons. When you an athlete, you get away with a lot of shit.
Against the very real risk that he could relapse and throw his career away again. One person who never wavered in his belief was Mathieu's former LSU teammate and close friend, Patrick Peterson. Peterson, already a star cornerback for the Arizona Cardinals, became Tyrann's biggest advocate. He relentlessly vouched for Mathieu's character to the Cardinals coaching staff and front office, assuring them that
Pat Peterson, a legend too.
Tyrann had learned from his mistakes and was ready to change.
Put a bug in the GM's ear and Coach Aaron's ear that this guy, he's learned from his mistakes. He can definitely help us in the long run.
Peterson found a receptive ear in Cardinals head coach Bruce Arians. Arians, known for his no-risk-it, no-biscuit coaching philosophy, had a history of giving players second chances. He saw the immense talent on Mathieu's tape, and combined with Peterson's strong endorsement, he was willing to take the gamble. On the second day of the draft, the Arizona Cardinals selected Tyrann Mathieu in the third round with the
Patrick Peterson and W. Cardinals.
69th overall pick.
69th
He pulled, damn, he was the third round pick 69.
pick in the 2013 NFL Draft. The Arizona Cardinals select Tyrann Mathieu, defensive back, LSU.
It was a significant investment, but also a sign that the league still had doubts. He had fallen much farther than his talent dictated. But for
Damn, I did not know that nigga was a third round pick 69 pick. That's crazy.
Mathieu, it was everything.
That nigga dropped that far down for that attitude shit, character issue shit, for real.
It was a second chance, an opportunity to rewrite his story. He arrived in Arizona determined to prove the Cardinals right. He quickly shed the risk label and became one of the most dynamic and versatile defensive players in the league. Arians and defensive coordinator Todd Bowles used him brilliantly, deploying him all over the field. As a slot corner, a deep safety, and even as a blitzer. The Honey Badger instincts were
That versatile.
back.
That's a lot of safeties now, but they bigger, like Nick Emmanvori, Kyle Hamilton, Caleb Downs. He about to be that, you know what I'm saying?
He was forcing
He 5'11", but Caleb Downs is big as nigga. I seen Caleb Downs 5'11", 201, 201 pounds. He buff as hell. Caleb Downs, who goddamn buff, his jersey don't even fit him. Nigga, jersey be lifting up.
fumbles, making diving interceptions, and playing with the same ferocious energy that had made him a star at LSU. He wasn't just fitting in. He was becoming a leader. His redemption reached its peak in the 2015 season. He had a phenomenal year, intercepting 5 passes, defending 17, racking up 89 tackles, and being a constant disruptive force. His performance earned him first-team All-Pro
This nigga don't even look that big, bro. He still kind of don't look that big.
honors, a remarkable achievement that solidified his comeback. He had gone from a college reject to being recognized as one of the very best defensive players in the entire entire NFL. But his journey was never easy. His resilience was tested again by major injuries. His promising rookie season was cut short by a devastating knee
Yeah, I was saying he was talking in a clip on his podcast. He said he never had hamstring injuries, but he did tear his ACL and shit like that. But them soft tissue injuries, he said he never had that shit. Hamstring injuries.
in December 2013.
Yeah, that shit killing NBA and NFL niggas and all these hamstring injuries. Like, goddamn.
Tearing both his ACL and LCL. Then, late in his All-Pro 2015 season, just as he was establishing himself as a superstar, he suffered another torn ACL in December
God damn.
2015.
Look, even a Eagles player looking like.
He battled back from both injuries, proving his mental toughness, but the physical toll was mounting. After
all that ACL, god damn, this should make me nervous for Malik Neighbors. Like, I hope Malik Neighbors shake back. You know what I'm saying?
Impactful but injury-marked seasons in Arizona, the Cardinals, under a new coaching regime, released him in March 2018 in a salary cap move. He was once again a free agent, needing to prove himself. He signed a one-year, $7 million prove-it deal with the Houston Texans for the 2018 season.
By Tyrann Mathieu, going from the Arizona Cardinals, who released him. They didn't want to give him a deal, but reportedly, Tyrann Mathieu took less money to sign a one-year prove-it deal in Texas, which I love.
He stayed healthy, played well, and reestablished his value around the league. That led him to his ultimate moment
I
of
be forgetting this nigga played for the Texans.
triumph. In March 2019, the Kansas City Chiefs, a team on the cusp.
Was this where he was best at? Was he best on the Chiefs? Or was it the Cardinals? Let me know. Like,
Of a dynasty, signed Tyrann Mathieu to a 3-year, $42 million contract. The deal, averaging $14 million per year with nearly $27 million guaranteed, made him the highest paid safety in the NFL at that time. The kid who grew up with nothing, who lost everything in Katrina, who was kicked out of college and arrested, who battled back from major injuries, was now the richest player at his position in the entire league. It was the ultimate vindication. But his impact in Kansas City went far beyond the money. He instantly became the heart and soul of the Chiefs' defense. His leadership, his passion, and his high football IQ transformed the unit. He was their signal caller, their emotional spark plug. He earned first-team all unit.
look how that nigga looking. The fuck is this nigga? The way they looking at this nigga frying me.
Their emotional
Look how they looking at this nigga, bro.
spark
He feeling that shit. That's number 64 or 54. He feeling that shit.
He earned first-team All-Pro honors twice more in 2019 and 2020, and most importantly, in his very first season with the team.
Tyrann, you got an aura for walking, bro. God, that walk got mad aura.
He led the Chiefs to victory in Super Bowl 54. He had finally reached the pinnacle of the sport. His journey came full circle in May 2022 when he signed a contract with his hometown New Orleans Saints, returning to the city where his struggles began, now as a Super Bowl champion and a respected leader. He has embraced his role as a mentor, using his platform and his Tyrann Mathieu Foundation to give back to underprivileged youth in New Orleans and Kansas City, sharing his story of resilience. His journey from the bottom to the top is a powerful testament to overcoming adversity, proving that even after the biggest falls, redemption is possible. He turned his darkest moments into his greatest strength. His journey from college reject to Super Bowl champ is a raw, unfiltered story of redemption. It's proof that it's never too late to rewrite your own ending. Who's another player with a story that needs to be told? Sound off in the comments. If you want to see our next investigation, hit that subscribe button.
Make sure like, comment, subscribe, and all deuces. Hall of Famer. Give Matt Tyrann, get a honey badger, that gold jacket. Thanks. Thanks,